Hi, hello, it's Pip here from queenpipcards.com. Thanks ever so much for joining me today. Today I am showing you, well, it's going to end up being 4 cards, but we'll start off with 2. 2 cards using the inlay embossing technique. That's what I call it. I have no idea if that's its real name, but I wanted to show you, it's basically how you emboss 2 things together at the same time so they form a single sheet. And you can see here, hopefully you can see here, that this piece of designer series paper has been embossed with the Subtles embossing folder at the same time as the actual cardstock it's on, and that creates a kind of an inlay effect because it all melds into one, plus it kind of looks a bit like fabric. So I'm going to just bring that up here so that you can really see, hopefully, that it looks a bit like fabric. So that's that one, and then this one I did this time with the swirls and curls embossing folder. And it just looks like it's one piece. You'd never get that if you embossed it twice and then tried to stick one on top of the other. It would be much higher and it wouldn't look as good. So those are the kinds of cards that I'm making today, but I've decided to change it up a little bit, as I always do. Well, as I sometimes do, not always. So this is, as I say, one that uses the swirls and curls with the butterfly gala. This one, again, butterfly gala, using this beautiful All That You Love papers. So we're going to carry on for the first card using some All That You Love papers because I love them and they're leaving us. So I thought I would try and use those as much as I can because I don't like to be left over with paper. Chop it, cut it, love it, chop it, all that kind of stuff. So the first thing that you need is you're going to need a piece of lovely lipstick. This time I'm using the lovely lipstick and then a piece of, as I say, the same All That You Love designer series paper. This is the one with the dots on the back, which makes your eyes go a bit funny. And you're just going to glue that to that. So this is your normal 10 by 14.4. And then I'm just going to glue this on the back here. I'm trying to get my lights to play ball. They seem to be playing ball as long as I keep things down here. So I'm just going to keep things down here. Make sure that it kind of stays dark enough. It's still very light outside. So I'm just popping this on here. This is just a piece of paper that's cut, again, 14.4, and then this is 8 centimetres across that way. So you just have a 1 centimetre border on either side. Ish. Yeah, that looks straight. And then we're going to bring the big shot in. Right, so you're going to take out all of your thin die adapters and your 2 cutting plates. We don't need that to start off with. We're going to bring back in 1 cutting plate. And you're going to keep the basic Big Shot platform, okay? And then I'm going to bring out the Subtles embossing folder again. I love the Subtles embossing folder because you can't really see it in the catalogue. You can't see this beautiful picture that it just creates almost like a fabric on your cardstock. Then you're going to take your embossing folder, you're going to open it up, and you're going to place your paper that's now attached to your cardstock inside, close it up again. Doesn't matter if it's straight or not, this one, which is another reason for loving it. And then you're going to whiz that through with just the 1 plate because it's one of those thick dynamic or 3D embossing folders, as they're going to be called in the future. So there we go, and out it comes, and you can see now that that is almost embedded in the cardstock. See that? And it just feels like one piece, and it does look like indeed it's a piece of fabric. So I love that. Right, so that's the basis of that one. While I've got the Big Shot out, shall I do the other one? No, I'll come back, I'll bring it out again. I'll bring it out again next time. Let's be brave. Let's do that. Move that over there again. Okay. I'll whiz those out the way, keep this back here. Hopefully this will bring the colours down. Good, yep, okay. So that's that. Then I'm just going to take a piece of Balmy Blue A4 chopped in half long ways, my normal fold, 14.9 fold. Make sure it's straight, burnish it down. Like that. Did you like my nice sparkly pink fingernails? I think they're lovely. Look at that. Lovely. I do like these. They're stickers, jamboree stickers. But the new ones, they're kind of like lacquer stickers or something. They're really good. Anyway, so I digress. So I want that down there, but I want a little bit more sewing or fabric-y type embellishment. So I'm going to go with some, if I can get the end of it, linen thread. Okay, that's one piece. Obviously that was a spare bit I had. Let's see, is that enough? No. Always the way when you have a spare bit, it's never the right length for what you want it to do. Come on. Where's an end? Is that an end? That's an end. Here we go. I want to tie a bow in it, that's why. So I need a little bit more than that. I'm just going to take it round twice. Tie it in a knot. Tie it underneath all of them. I try to anyway. Where am I going? What am I doing? There we go. Tie that in a knot that way. Take it underneath. Tie it in another knot. Ugh. Over the top. There we go. There we go. It's a little curved, but it will come down with sticking. And then tie that in a bow. There we go. And then zhuzh it up a bit. You know, do your amending, as it were. Make sure it's what you want it to be. Chop the ends off. I'll leave them fairly long, but not massively long. There we go. Okay, so now twist that around. Make sure it's doing what you want it to do. There we go. That's how I want it. We're going to glue that on top of that, like that. And then I've pre-cut, because I can, in Blue Peter style, some of these, what are these called? Well written framelits, which is from the Well Said bundle. Well, though it's only a bundle up until the end of May, so if you want to get 10% off, then I'd crack on and buy it now. So there we go, that's the wishes. Get rid of that middle piece, don't need that. Don't need that. No, oh, and the S, nearly forgot the S. There you go, go away. Go, yeah, there's the wishes. What I do want to do though is I want to get the little eye back out again. Come on. Because the dot on top of the eye is only little. There we go. Now you know I'm going to lose that, don't you? So we're just going to pop that up there so I know where it is. And then we've got the birthday that's going to come out as well. And I have backed with this, oops. I have backed these with multi-purpose sheets, which I know we no longer sell. But you know, they're still good. So thankfully I got some in before they left. But if you haven't got them in, then you can just use multi-purpose adhesive glue and you know, get that into all the little bits behind. Right, let's try and get all these little bits away. That's not, I don't need that bit. So we've got two eyes that we need the top on. We can get rid of all of these other pieces. I should have done this beforehand, but never mind, I can speed it up. Okay, so you see that on this piece the multi-purpose adhesive sheet didn't go all the way because I ran out of room. So I'm just going to use my multi-purpose adhesive glue. It's got a little sticky bit on. Your glue will go like this sometimes when it's just got this little sticky edge on here. It's just excess, so if you just pop that off on a piece of cardstock you'll find it a lot easier to use. And then you can just, there we go, just dab it on. Doesn't have to be perfect, you just don't want very much of it, so just sort of spread it around. There we go. Okay, so now comes the moment of truth. Where am I going to put them? And I think I just wanted to do them sort of straight across there, so I'm going to take the multi-purpose adhesive sheets off the back, and if you don't have fingernails like me, then you can just use your Take Your Pick tool, and if you pop this across, like just right across the roses, I think that helps to make them stand out a bit. There we go. Yep, that's sorted. So if you don't have any nails, then just use the take your pick and just go straight underneath. You'll pull one off. There we go. And then you can do this. And I'm just going to go sort of in thirds like that. Birthday wishes. Now comes the tricky part, because you've got to get the little eyes. I've dropped it. There we go. Little eyes off. Oh. Yeah, these are a little tricky. But they're worth it. It's, you know, it just finishes it off nicely once you get the hang of it. There's one. Sometimes it's not so good to have nails, because then they get stuck up your nails. There we go. A little fiddly, but worth it. Letters don't seem, I mean, words don't seem right when they haven't got the little top bits on. Come on. There we go. Wishes. Although the other day I made the mistake, and last time I'd used these in class, I'd done a card and I'd put the dot over the S. So it just wasn't right. And I hadn't even noticed. It was my lovely customers who went, you know, you've got your dot on your eye the wrong way around. No, have I? Oh dear. They forgave me because they're nice like that. All right, so then we're going to just glue the back of this. Again, I always go over the ribbon or twine, whichever, which is on there. And then that is going to go and sit down there like that. And, you know, I might just add a couple of little buttons maybe down here, something to hold, to kind of tie in the whole linen thread sewing material malarkey. So yeah, I might put a couple of buttons down there, or maybe down the side. But you see how that inlay now is looking just really fab. And you can still read the birthday wishes. At least you can in real life. I'm not sure how easy that is to see on camera, but you can in real life. Okay, so that's using one of the deep embossing folders. But if you don't have a deep embossing folder, if you have one of the machines that they don't work with, or like they won't fit through the Cuttlebug, for example, but you do have some of our ordinary embossing folders, I just want to show you that you can do the same with those as well. So this time we're starting with Night of Navy and a piece of balmy blue background. And in my magic little box that I have here all set up and ready, she says, throwing everything across everywhere. I want to make something that will go with my high tide. So I've brought out and chopped out already some triangle-y kind of shape pieces. Okay, so they're not perfect triangles by any means, but I've cut them out and I want them to sort of fit randomly across the card, sort of like this, going like that, and then maybe that one going in over there like this, because I want to use the this one, which is the Seaside embossing folder. Now this is retiring. I'm really sad that this is retiring, because it's a lovely embossing folder and it goes really well with boats and ships and lighthouses and all that kind of stuff. So I'm pleased to say we are getting a replacement. I'll just say that, so don't panic. We are getting a replacement one, but it's not this one, and I like this one, so I thought I'm going to try it with this. So let's keep these in place. So as before, you're going to glue down your pieces, but this time it's cardstock, not paper. So it'll be a little thicker going through your embossing folder, but it should still go through, and it shouldn't damage your embossing folder. And you can use whatever colours you like. I mean, this would be great as a sunrise kind of embossing. You know, if you had a flower or some kind of sunrisey clouds, maybe, I don't know, but I just thought it would look nice with sea. So you don't want too much glue, because you really don't want it coming over and sticking over your embossing folder. Oops. So you don't want it coming out to the sides. There we go. And you can use all your little scraps doing this. That's the great thing. Just make sure that you do have some right at the edge there. So this one's going to go there, like that. And if you get a little bit over, don't panic. It's not the end of the world. But you just don't want, you know, massives of gloopy glue, because obviously you don't want that coming into your... Now, if that's going there, maybe that goes there, and that one goes there. There we go, let's do that. There we go. Yeah, you don't want lots of gloopy bits on your actual embossing folder, because that would be messy. All right, so there we go. So something like that. It's not quite how I did it the first time around in my head, but that's okay. It doesn't have to be exactly the same every time, and that's the good thing. It probably won't be exactly the same every time. So this time, because it's a normal embossing folder, we need our base plate. Don't know why I'm doing that, because there's nothing in it. We need our base plate, and then a cutting mat, and then our sandwich embossing folder with your card in between, however you want it to go. Okay, and then a top plate. So you've just taken out your thin die adapter basically. Okay, so now we're going to run this through, and it will be a little tight, as I say, because it's almost like doing 2 pieces of cardstock at once, which I don't normally recommend, but as long as it's not all of it, you're okay. And then you get that. Isn't that cool? So it's like different colour sea. Isn't that great? I like that very much. Right, okay, so we'll take that out. Take that over there. Now, this one I'm going to put on a... Actually, it needs to go this way around, doesn't it, really? It needs to go this way around, like this. Alright, so that's going on a Night of Navy base. And then, what I've done... Where should I put it? Here we go. Then what I've done is I've pre-stamped my little lighthouse, which is going to go on the front. So we're going to cut this out by hand, because it doesn't take long. This just whiz around the edges. I got this one done right on my second attempt. You know, because sometimes it can be hard to line up, but I just wanted to show you that it doesn't have to be done in red and black. You can do it in any colour you like. And also, just to remind you that it doesn't have to be perfect, because actually if you look at the lighthouse, it's not perfect. It looks like a photographic image that's been turned black and white, and you know, you've got some of those missing pieces on it. So don't expect it to be a perfectly solid image. Don't expect it to be exactly lining up. I mean, this bit here is weird, but it's all about lighting and, you know, making it look 3D. So don't beat yourself up if it's not exactly right. But as I say, it took me 2 attempts and then I managed to get it to this one. The first one wasn't too bad. I had a bit too much ink on my ink pad. That's the other thing. If you're doing a double impression, double embossing, you might not... double stamping. Don't put quite so much ink on. Make sure it's a little less inky. Okay, so then my lighthouse is going to stand there as if it's on some rocks. And I'm not quite sure whether I actually even want to put... Don't even know if I actually want to put any words on that, really. Might do, might not. I'm going to have a think about that. In the meantime, I'm going to stick it down. So there you can see what it looks like normally on the deboss side. You need to make sure you've got enough glue on there to hold it onto the card. But yeah, I like that side very much. Doesn't look like fabric, this one, because it's not the Subtles embossing folder. It's that embossing folder that makes it look like fabric, not the double inlay. You know, not the inlay embossing itself, because as you can see, this looks like sea. So it's not just that makes it look like that. But I think it's a great technique. I mean, you can try it out with all your different embossing folders, see which one you prefer. Has that gone over the edge? Yes, it has. Come on, pay attention. Don't want your dimensionals over the edge of your lighthouse. Stick it on there. There we go. And then on there. Don't want soggy lighthouses either, do we? So, you know, got to make sure you've got enough of those on there. Right, there we go. I'm going to pop that on there. So the colours I used on this, just in case you were wondering, were Barley Blue for the base, Night of Navy, these two pieces, Bermuda Bay, and this is Blueberry Bushel. Isn't it good? I like that. And then I'll probably put sentiment on it, cut it out, do that sort of stuff. But there you go. So that's sort of a half done card. It's not quite finished, but I'm not going to worry you with just stamping something unless I stamp it straight away in from the high tide. Ooh, could I do that? What do we have? Oh, you have the most amazing ability to take an ordinary moment and make it shine. Oh, I like that. I like that. How big is that though? Oh, see, now that covers up quite a lot of our background. We don't like that. In high tide or low tide, I'll be by your side. That's quite nice too. And I'll put that on. Let's do that one. Let's do that. We only need a piece of Whisper White cardstock for this. So we'll do this. Pop this on. Oh, we're going very blue at the moment. I don't know. I've been enjoying. This is now Blueberry Bushel, so I'm just bringing in a different blue. You can see the difference. Like that. Oh yeah, that's nice. And then, what size do we need for that? Probably the one that's in my retreat box. I've still got half my stuff packed up for retreat because that's next week. My second one, is that going to fit? Oh, not quite. That's a shame because that would look kind of cool. No, I don't really want to chop all that off. Let's see, what do we have here? Well, I might give you a sneak peek then, see if this fits. Does this fit? No. Oh, no! Where are they? Where are they all? Okay, so I haven't got my 1.5. I think it's a 1.5 is what I need. And my 1.5 is in my retreat box. So we'll just go with a 2-inch. There we go. Because we know that works. There we go. And I'm not going to bother layering it up or anything like that because actually it's got enough colour behind it that it just stands out naturally. So we'll just pop that on there. That looks nice, doesn't it? Yeah. I might even just go flat. It isn't going to go flat though, is it, Pip? Because it's on bumpy embossing. So let's not go flat. Let's just go like this. One in the middle. There we go. Let's just put it up on dimensionals. Oh, I could do with some more on. There we go. Like that. Is that straight? Yep. There we go. Yeah, that's not too bad at all. And again, you could add some embellishments. You could put some sprinkles on it. Opens that way now because that's a different way. Because I wanted the embossing to go that way and I didn't have a over the top card. So tentfold, that's the word I'm looking for, Pip, tentfold. So there you go, that's 4 in the space of 20 minutes or so. You've seen 4 different ideas for what I call inlay embossing. So I hope you've enjoyed that. All the details are in my blog post and on the comments in the description below. Come back and see me again soon. Hope you like it. Subscribe, hit like, hit whatever. Tell people about me. Just come back and enjoy some more creativity. I'm here every week. One night only, no, 2 days normally. So yeah, so I hope you've enjoyed that. Some inlay embossing. Yeah, I quite like those. I hope you do too. Thanks ever so much for watching. You take care now, and if you want to buy anything, just pop into the store on my link below and go shop with me. Thanks very much. Take care. Bye bye.